As you come in, like, share, tag you somebody. We're going to continue this conversation on unhealthy attachments. Preferably, we're gonna dive into this thing tonight. It's going to be so transparent and so relatable that you're gonna have to bring somebody in to take a look at this, because it's going to bless your entire life. Thank you again for tuning in, showing your support to the Kingdom Church, joining in on this discussion every second and fourth Tuesday. I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and tag you somebody, type that name in, invite them into this conversation, because if it's a blessing to you, most definitely it'll be a blessing to somebody else. All right? Is that good? Y'all ready to dive into that?
Yes.
All right. So we've been discussing unhealthy attachments. We even talked about our last class, are we the unhealthy attachments? Because often we normally see in society or among family, friends, everybody else is the problem. Everybody else is the toxic person. Everybody else is the unhealthy person. It's just everybody else's fault. But we sometimes never take responsibility and take a look at ourselves. Even if they were an unhealthy attachment or they were toxic, could it be a possibility that I'm unhealthy too?
Yes.
Or I'm toxic also? Because one sign that, okay, there's something that's broken in me is it shows that, okay, I picked that toxic person. I chose that unhealthy person. So I wasn't healed enough to be able to recognize that this person was not good for me. They wasn't healthy for me. So we want to make sure that we are healing. We are in the process of healing. We are in the process of becoming whole and becoming our best self. And how do we do that? We have to address the things that we have avoided, that we have not dealt with all of our lives. Because we weren't able to recognize it. We didn't know that it was a problem. So we're going to dive into it tonight. But the aspect of unhealthy attachments that we want to talk about tonight is avoidance. Avoidance. What are some unhealthy signs that we can just call out tonight that are unhealthy when it comes to avoidance? What are some signs? What are some things?
Shutting down and not dealing with conflict or
shutting down, not dealing with conflict. What else?
Holding in what you want to say.
Holding in what you want to say. That's avoidance. Okay, these are good points. Shutting down. Okay, why do we shut down? What are some? We know it's a defense mechanism, but why do we shut down?
I think there are many reasons why people may shut down. It depends on what that individual is dealing with or has dealt with. Also responds how they what triggers the shutdown.
Right.
So for some people it may be sometimes a person is unable to articulate to someone what they're actually feeling because they're not used to expressing themselves.
Okay.
And so they'll avoid talking about something because it may be coming from, if they've grown up and they in a household where they weren't able to express their feelings,
Right.
and they had to always suppress their emotions or suppress whatever they're dealing with. So and also to avoid fights or arguments, and a lot of people will shut down because they don't want to have to deal with the backlash of expressing themselves. So there are many reasons why a person may shut down.
Right.
But just to get to that root would depend on what that individual actually going through. or have dealt with.
That's good. Thank you all for tuning in. I see you all coming on. Please share this. Don't rock by yourself. Let somebody else rock with
to
you.
be experience. There's experience as far as like how they were brought up, you know,
Right.
from
Okay.
their perspective.
Right. Okay. That's good. We gonna deal with both of them. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Come
a
on.
lot of people, we hate confrontations,
Okay.
yeah, to face certain things.
Okay. So we'll avoid
Yeah,
just not to have a confrontation. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good too. All right. So are these things healthy that we're calling out?
no.
No,
No.
we realize it now. We realize it
We're
now.
realizing it now. They're not healthy. Shutting down, avoiding it, whether it's conflict or whatever, or not being able to express what we feel. That's still unhealthy because if I'm not able to communicate, we can't get to a resolution
Right.
because we can't communicate. We can't talk. And sometimes when we are talking, we just talking at each other.
Right.
And we're yelling, and we still, it's not effective communication. So I think in a situation like that, that kind of style of communication need to be avoided.
Need to be
Right.
avoided.
It need to
Right.
be avoided. Yeah, you was gonna say something.
Oh, yeah, I was saying like, yeah, confrontation, but not like the fighting thing. Some people just don't like the, face, like, what they're holding in. So that's the type of confrontation I'm talking about.
I got
Like
you.
the face-to-face thing, to face the head on, let's deal with this thing.
That's right.
You know,
That's
so,
right. That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
because it's always like pointing fingers at somebody else.
Somebody else.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hold it to the next one.
Okay, you probably gonna break it out.
Okay.
Because one thing that we realize, these are signs of past trauma. These are signs of past trauma, and we don't know how to show up as our best self in these areas. This does not make you a bad person. This does not mean that, okay, you don't belong to God if you're saved. This does not mean that you're not a good person. This means we have to take a different approach on how to better manage our emotions, our communication styles, our perspectives on things, and just, overall just healing the areas that we have neglected almost all of our lives because
Yes.
we have not dealt with them. We've coped around them. We've done a lot of different things to try to, suppress it and keep it up under wraps, but it never goes away. It never goes away. Unhealed people do not know how to recognize safe spaces. God. Oh, God. I'm going to say that again. Unhealed people do not know how to recognize safe spaces. All of us have been unhealed people.
Right.
Right.
Because, okay, we're talking about unhealthy attachments. Have you ever been attached to somebody in your life, it don't matter what capacity it was, after a period of time you realize, I don't really like this friend like this. I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't able, or let me give a better example. Okay. Have you ever shared something with somebody and you thought you could trust them with it and it came back to bite you?
Yes.
Right.
Or they used what you told them against you?
Yes.
Yeah, they had that little twist on it too.
They put their
Yeah.
twist on it too. Okay, I got you. So we wasn't healed enough to be able to recognize this is not a safe space for me to do this.
Right.
Any attachment that you have in your life that does not make you better in any aspect of your life is an unhealthy attachment.
Come on now.
Let me show you what a healthy attachment will do.
Come
A
on.
healthy attachment will agitate you. A healthy attachment, we finna dive in tonight. A healthy attachment will frustrate you too. A healthy attachment, watch this, will also cause you to avoid them also.
Right.
Because when you are connected with healthy attachment, they will always challenge you.
Come on now.
Oh God, you call that.
Yes.
They will always challenge you.
Right.
Watch this, because they're going to always push you to be better.
Right.
But when I don't want to really grow right now, I'm going to avoid that attachment
Yeah.
because I know that I already know how they coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to always give you a higher perspective.
Right.
Now, there is some growth in your life. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong. A healthy attachment gonna always cause you, okay, now we can go a little higher.
Right.
Right.
There's never a settling
Right.
space or place with a healthy attachment.
Right.
Okay, we've accomplished that. Okay, what's next?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And when people really don't want to grow, they use language like this. Ain't nothing never good enough. No, that's good. Okay, but let's get to greater.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why should we stop here? If we have accumulated and gained this and mastered this, okay, what we got next? It's always something. Even Jesus puts it like this. He says, occupy until I come. Don't just prophesy to one person. Okay, keep prophesying until I get back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's always levels and growth and healing that has to take place. Paul puts it like this. He says, I ain't apprehended yet. This is Apostle Paul, who wrote a third of the New Testament while writing, telling us, I ain't got it together. I ain't all the way there yet. I know you think I'm the, I done went to the third here, and you like me as Paul the Apostle, but I'm telling you, I ain't apprehended yet. So this shows, okay, in that kind of language shows a level of growth, and I want to get better.
You still got that childlike mind.
I still got that childlike mind.
I want to learn.
I want to learn, and I want more. And it's amazing that you say that, because a childlike mind is very inquisitive, and they're always, it ain't never satisfied. You give them one toy and you show them another one. They want that one and this one, and it's open, and they wanna know everything. That's why they'll touch something that's hot, and you gotta keep saying hot, hot, hot. And if they keep touching it, they'll realize, okay, I can't touch that, and they'll start saying hot, because they got it.
Right.
They got it now, and we are. It's amazing how God puts us in the same category as children. He said, in order to come to my kingdom and come to me, you got to come as a child.
Right.
Let me lead you, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. If I put a 2-year-old and give him keys to a house and leave him in there, what you think gonna happen? Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And this is where, taking responsibility and being accountable to somebody is very important in our lives. Let me just give the definition of avoidance. Avoidance. What is avoidance? I wrote it down. Avoidance is any behaviors people use to escape or distract themselves from difficult thoughts, feelings, or situations. If I feel like, okay, it's gonna make me uncomfortable, I ain't coming to the meeting. I ain't gonna have the conversation with you, because either I'm fearful, or I'm I don't know what the outcome gonna be, or anything. So I'll just avoid it. You see what I'm saying? So avoidance is unhealthy. When it's unhealthy avoidance. Let me read this. Avoidant behaviors often go together with immaturity, which is why they commonly manifest in children. You don't even have to teach a child how to lie. You already put something in place. Okay, don't do this, don't do that. When you get off work or whatever, you go home, they did it. And when you ask them, who ate the cookies? Okay, little Susie come up to my son with crumbs all around her mouth. It wasn't me. Avoid it. because I'm afraid of the punishment I'm gonna get. I know I was wrong, so I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna tell a lie. Oh God, here we go. And this is what happens also in relationships and friendships. If I am afraid of the outcome, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to avoid the outcome. If I gotta lie to you, I don't want that outcome, so I'm gonna lie. This is me not taking responsibility. You know what I'm saying? For my actions. But if I want to grow, watch this, and if I want to deal with it, I'm gonna say, okay, well, yeah, I messed up. This is what I did. Whatever outcome or consequence that's gonna come, I take full responsibility. I hear people say that when they're in the courtroom, I throw myself at the mercy of the court. My life is in your hand, and whatever the outcome is, let me just own it, because I'm taking responsibility for it. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm doing all of these things to try to avoid a outcome or a situation, what I'm doing is I'm making things worse. I'm making things worse. Avoidance is often tied to immaturity because this commonly manifests in children. If there is a possibility of getting in trouble or having to do something that they don't want to do, children may exhibit avoidant behavior. Now, but when we become adults, we shouldn't still be reacting like children in these avoidant behaviors. Right? When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I thought as a child, and I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now, if you are mature enough to do it, be mature enough to own it. That's growth. I messed up. I messed up right here. I made this mistake. I apologize. Now, whatever come after that, I'm accepting it. But I'm owning this. And what owning does, it keeps people from holding your mistakes over your head.
And that's the problem. I done did it before too. I ain't gonna lie. I avoid a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, in the past and stuff. But that's the problem. We don't hold ourselves accountable and try to get through the situation. We'll avoid it or blame it on somebody else or blame it on somebody else, you know, and try to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of dealing with it, like you said.
Absolutely. It's a defense mechanism.
Right.
Avoidance, this unhealthy avoidance is a defense mechanism because I want to get it off of me. And a lot of times, this is what we see oftentimes. Like if you're having a conversation with somebody and you are addressing them by what they have wronged or made a mistake in or something like that, you are often, people who are not in a place of dealing with things and in a mature space of being able to own it. These are some of the signs that you're going to see when you are trying to address it the right way. Instantly, somebody will bring up somebody else and another situation that does not even pertain to what we're talking about. That's called shifting the blame. I'm shifting it. What I'm doing, I got my wall up and I'm trying to stop what's coming at me. So I'm trying to shift this so your focus can go to something else. Right. I want to avoid this. So I'm okay. So why you ain't saying nothing to so and so? They ain't in here. We talking to you. So that it's called a shifting of the blame. I'm defensive. And I really don't want to deal with it. So this is an unhealthy attachment. You'll always be in a repeated cycle because nothing will get resolved with this type of behavior. Avoid it. Let's just be churchy tonight. Let's take it to church. How do avoidant behaviors show up in church?
Not doing what you were told to do. You avoid it. Talking to them and go the other way.
Willow.
You don't do that, do you, Will?
No.
How you know about that then, man? Okay, that's good. If somebody has told you to do something and you do not do it, you avoid that person, that person of accountability. You know what I'm saying? You avoid it. You come to church late, you leave early. Because you know it coming. You already know they're going to call you in a meeting eventually. Because one thing about it, people know when they have, made a mistake, dropped the ball. All of us do now. You know what I'm saying? But that avoidance is not going to make it go away.
Right.
If you have an authority figure who cares about your soul.
Right.
They're not going to watch you go in a manner and not say nothing to you if they care about you now.
Right.
Now, if they just concerned about your gift and don't care nothing about your soul or your characteristics, it ain't gonna matter.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So this is why you have to have a healthy attachment. Even your church has to be a healthy attachment.
Right.
False doctrine creates trauma.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I just messed up.
Right.
Bad.
Right.
False doctrine creates trauma
Yes.
because it changes your perspective. It pulls you away from the truth. You understand what I'm saying? It causes you to be practicing something that's not even biblical, and by the time you feel like, okay, I've been doing this ain't even the Bible. This is just what somebody said, and now, okay, that may traumatize me where I won't get up under another authority figure because I don't trust anybody to give me the right information. You see what I'm saying? So it'll traumatize me to a degree where I don't trust any authority figure.
And usually, the leaders are the ones that suffer because it's hard to try to minister to a person or to be transparent with them when they are seeing you as the bad person rather than seeing them as the help that sent, the one that sent the help. You know what I'm saying?
Mess us up,
And sometimes, when a person has those looking through those traumatized lens, they don't see love, they see hate. And they, just like if you were to minister a word, you trying to minister the word that the Lord gave you.
Right.
But if the person is hearing the word, they'll reflect on, okay, he talking about me.
Right.
Or somebody, it's always, goes back to a victim or, feel
Right.
like I'm being
attacked
or some kind of way I'm being, done wrong,
Right.
And so it's hard for those people to escape that kind of mindset because they always, anything that comes to try to bring constructive criticism or something to kind of get them reprogrammed or deprogrammed from what they, what they've usually been prone to, then they consider that as an attack,
Right.
Versus a healing process.
Absolutely.
Or a opportunity to be, re-informed, or because in order to get truth to a person,
Right.
you have to reveal the areas of that are operating.
Absolutely.
You have to confront those errors, those places that are,
Right. That are problematic.
right.
So I got a question.
Okay.
How we gonna, like, if we don't know that we not accepting the good attachment,
Okay.
how do we work towards recognizing the good attachment instead of not accepting the good attachment?
Okay. Like, you have to be exposed to another level of information. You know what I'm saying? If I don't have the information, the Bible talks about people perish for a lack of knowledge. And for years we have perished because we didn't have the knowledge of we need to deal with trauma. I didn't hear anything about this growing up. As a child, I ain't never heard nothing about passive aggressive, avoidance behavior, none of this. So we perished in areas because we didn't have the knowledge. So we have to be intentional in reaching out and finding healthy models, healthy attachments. Again, healthy attachments, they're gonna challenge you. They're gonna push you to be better. You will know that you have a healthy attachment because it's gonna It's gonna challenge every area of your life.
Yes.
And if we're not up for the challenge, we'll avoid that and we'll go to something familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like a toxic friend. Girl, you ain't gotta do all that. Man, you ain't gotta do all that. It don't take all that.
Right.
It do take all that though. Cause I've been dealing with this for years, and I've been your friend for 15 years, and you ain't helped me yet. You understand what I'm saying? Actually, you probably a part of the problem.
Right.
Because the only thing you want me to do is go to the club and smoke hookahs and pop pills every weekend.
Right.
So, I ain't dealing with my trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's funny, but this is what I used to do. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I held and suppressed for years, I just wanted to get high and just all of it go away.
Yes.
So I tried to stay high so I would not come down and have to deal with it at all. But I just kept suppressing. And by the time let's do it this way. By the time I really wanted to settle down and really just do the right thing, I ain't know how to do it properly because I ain't never addressed it all of these years. So now I'm spilling over on somebody this trauma, this unhealthy attachment that I am, and avoided patterns that I have, shutting down, avoiding conversation, picking fights, self-sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? All of this kind of stuff, passive aggression. If I'm talking to you and you just sitting there rolling your eyes and just dismissing anything and everything that I'm saying, you are avoiding the truth of what's happening. I cannot heal, I cannot grow from anything that I don't want to see or that I don't want to deal with. I cannot grow from it, period. So when somebody's bringing something to you, constructive criticism, or pointing out some character flaws in your life, now I don't advise somebody who don't have a relationship with the other person to just be in somebody's face and say, you real mean and nasty. But you don't even know me. You just saw one moment. You see what I'm saying? You don't have a right to be in my life like that because we don't have a type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? You might have caught me in a bad moment, but that's not who I am. I don't have a pattern of doing this. You see what I'm saying? So there has to be some type of relationship of a person. This is why you need some healthy attachments in your life where somebody can say, you handsome and you got it going on, sis. But you need to check your attitude. You need somebody on your team, in your circle, that will tell you that to your face and won't even blame. And say, now what we going to eat after this? Because they love you. They ain't just going to, stab you and don't put no Band-Aid over you. They're going to show you the issue, and they're going to be right there with you to walk with you through it. That's healthy. That's healthy. Now, for unhealthy attachment, if I lay my stuff down and no matter how ugly it is, now if you start to treat me different, you ain't healthy enough for me. Cause you don't know how to deal with my dirt. You don't know how to deal with the weak aspects and the shortcomings in my life. So normally these people don't have the tools to help you.
Right, and that's important too, because when we're talking about maturity and immaturity, sometimes we get offended a lot of times because we entrust something that to immature people.
Come on.
Because we think that that's a safe place.
Right.
But that person is immature. But because they wear a label of a Christian or a label of someone that's supposed to be,
right,
in a certain position.
Archbishop.
Right.
Apostolic.
We looking at a title versus looking at the person's life.
Come on now.
And the Bible tells us
Say
to
that
know
again.
them.
Say
that
again.
I can't.
We looking at titles instead of looking at character.
Right, looking at the character, because the Word of God does tell us to know them that labor among us.
Mhm.
And so in order to know them, you have to be looking at their character.
Come on now.
You know, Paul was talking about, even when he was telling Timothy, you know my character, you know my way
Come
of
on
life.
now.
I've demonstrated, you see my whole walk of life. You know what manner of man I am.
Mhm.
You know, you're able to see that person's life.
Right.
So there is something in that person's life. You can see that's a track record that can validate that they are who they say they are,
Right.
versus someone who say they one thing but not really. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Their words and their actions need
Don't
to
lie
line
up.
up.
Right.
Right, not just what they say about themselves, but what
Uh-huh.
they demonstrate in their actions need to line up,
Uh-huh.
and that will help you to make a good, a wise, able to see, if this is the same place.
Right.
Because it said in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And so that counsel needs to be, especially if you are a believer, it needs to be someone who's gonna give you a wise counsel, and they're gonna instruct you in the ways of the Lord.
Right.
To get you back on track.
That's
know.
right. That's right. Somebody's avoiding going to work tomorrow
Right,
because they know they finna get suspended.
right.
Yeah.
They done did something. You know what I'm saying? One of the most healthiest things that we can do, and I had to become a grown man to realize this. Go and get it out the way.
Get it out of the way.
Go and get it out the way. One of the worst things my mama used to do to torture me is, I'm gonna let your daddy whoop you when he get home. God. And what I would try to do to try to out-slick that is I would go on, eat, get in the bed, bathe, and be asleep by the time he get home. But that didn't save
Right
me.
up at your sleep.
Oh
The
God.
worst
That's the word whipping you can get.
worst
You wake up screaming and get what's going on? That traumatized you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the weight was the torture.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
Say something
Especially
right
if they
there.
act like they
I
don't
can-
know already and they just won't say nothing to you.
Right. Go ahead.
Cause you were saying, when you do something wrong,
Mhm.
and then someone's bringing correction,
Uh-huh.
and we call it that trauma, a
Come on.
trauma.
Oh God.
And that's
Oh,
really
hurt.
not a trauma.
Uh-huh.
That's a discipline.
Come on now.
And we have to have to be able to discern between what's a trauma
Come on
and
now.
what is actually discipline.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to hurt.
Absolutely.
But one is bringing correction,
Uh-huh.
and it's not bringing destruction on you.
It's gonna help
or
you.
downfall, right?
That's right.
And a lot of people don't recognize the difference between
the two.
trauma and discipline.
It all feels the same.
But it feels the same,
Right.
but they're different.
They're
But
different.
to a person that's that's dealing with trauma, they can't discern the
Between the
difference.
two.
Right.
They
They're
just-
not able.
They're stuck on just the way it feels.
Right.
It feels like an attack, so I'm
Right.
gonna receive it as an
Right.
attack. There's a difference. I'm gonna give you this example. There's a difference between a surgeon and a butcher.
Right.
I want a surgeon operating on me
Right.
because it's gonna be a clean cut.
Mhm.
A butcher, he just gonna cut you. And sometimes you gotta be cut in order to be healed.
Right. We put that together. Right.
Anybody ever had surgery
Yes.
and the surgery healed you?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They had to cut you. I gotta go in, I gotta fix this ligament. If I don't cut you, you won't be able to heal properly. So could it be that my feelings gotta be hurt sometimes in order for me to get healed?
Right.
All right.
Hurt me if it's gonna heal me.
Right.
I need y'all to put that on the comment. Don't back up on me, don't log off now. Hurt me if it's going to heal me.
Right.
When you know healthy attachments, you know the motives of these people.
Right. Right.
You know their intent. And that's what we have to do when we feel like it's an attack.
Right.
When we feel like it's something similar to what actually traumatized us in the past. So we got to be able to discern.
Mhm.
And discernment means I'm taking my feelings out of it and I'm seeing it for what it really is.
Right. Right.
I know they feel like an attack, but I know Pastor V. I know it feels like an attack, but I know Pastor Mo. I know Willie. I know Terry. I know their motive is for me to be better. That's what they want. They're not doing this to put me down. They're not doing this to try to kill my character or kill my self-esteem.
Right.
They're actually trying to help me to be built up and to
Right.
become a better person.
Right.
It just don't feel good to me right now. And this is what we've been dealing with in order to better manage what we feel, our emotions. Because if I don't know how to appreciate and recognize healthy attachments, and if my styles continue to stay the same with these types of avoidant behaviors, I'm going, if I don't try to make some type of adjustments, I'm going to run away healthy connections in my life. Or the healthy connections will get to the point, and I'm going to give you Bible for this one, where they say, okay, I got to leave you to yourself to go through your process by yourself.
Right.
Because Jesus says, don't cast your pearls to
Swine.
right? So don't give it to somebody who's going to trample over it or misuse it or don't want it at all or don't know the value of it.
Right.
So he also gives us an example. The Bible says he did not do many miracles in his own home because of who? People. Because of their unbelief.
Yeah, unbelief.
You see what I'm saying? This shows us a pattern that, okay, I'm not gonna give you what you need.
Right.
Because watch this, you're showing me that you don't appreciate what I want to give you.
Right.
Come on.
Oh God. So Jesus, watch this. This is a healthy avoidance.
Right.
He avoids them people.
Mhm.
So is it good that we can avoid people?
That's good avoidance.
That's good avoidance.
Right.
Because if I know every time I come around you, you gonna fight somebody, I don't want to be around you all the time, man. Cause you finna kill the party.
We're gonna mark them.
I gotta mark them. Oh God, you just triggered something in me. Oh God, it's a good trigger. Paul said, mark them that cause divisions among you. He didn't leave it there. He said, avoid them.
Avoid them.
My brother in Christ, my sister in Christ. Because if you don't make the adjustments to be better in your character, the Bible tells me to avoid you.
Right.
If you are a compulsive gossiper, if you are a compulsive liar, if you are a compulsive backbiter, just all kind of, toxic character, the Bible tells me to avoid you with your apostolic self.
Right.
Yeah, mark you, then avoid you.
With your speaking in tongues self. The Bible tells me to
Come
avoid
on
you.
now. Yeah.
It didn't tell me to stop loving you. It told me to get from around you. Because you ain't good. You ain't good to be attached to.
Yeah.
You're not healthy. So in order to keep my peace
Yeah.
and my mental capacity in the right place, because bad company does corrupt good manners.
Yeah.
If me being around you, if I'm not pulling you in my direction and I find myself that you're pulling me in your direction, I have allowed for your characteristic to overpower and influence me in the wrong direction. That's an unhealthy attachment.
Right.
Yeah.
So we gotta be to the place. And here's a footnote of some of the things that I've been studying and reading. It says people who engage in avoidance behaviors are often in pain, or they are burying their emotions. Have you ever saw the demeanor of somebody and you know them now?
Right.
You know them. You paid attention to them over the years, and you ask them, okay, talk to me. You see the demeanor on their face. What's going on? Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And what they say?
I'm straight.
I'm good.
Nothing. I'm good. I'm straight. I know you don't. I know you're not good. I know you're not straight because, watch this, it's oozing out of your flesh.
Right.
You can't hide it well.
Can't hide energy.
You can't hide it. That energy is something else.
Right.
Come on now.
It will manifest itself even when you doing your best to try to put a smile on.
Right.
I'm talking about you look funny because what you're doing is you're not showing up as your authentic self.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't have enough power
Come on.
to pull my feelings and emotions together, I am so immature.
Yeah.
I don't, you mean to tell me I got enough power to lay hands on the sick and they recover? I got enough power to speak and cast demons out of people, and I can prophesy, I can, whatever gift that God allow for me to operate in, I'm talking about, I'm highly anointed and the presence of God is on you, but I don't have enough power to check myself.
So what you call that? Powerless.
Now you got power.
You
just-
he said
Immaturity. I'm not taking an internal investigation and look at myself and deciding that, okay, my character is not where it needs to be. Here's where we mess up at in church, because we are so highly gifted and anointed.
Right.
We think that's going to overpower or dismiss your bad behavior.
So how do that, okay, if all that going on, how do that give me power? Because I can't even overcome what I'm going through. So how do that make me still with power? Because power is what you can overcome.
Absolutely. Okay, let me give you a good example. Okay, I got it. Okay, they're coming up with all these fast cars now. What is it? Scat Pack, SRTs and Hemis and all of that kind of stuff. I go out and buy me 700 horsepower in a car, or truck, or something like that, and it'll move. But I bought it because I like the power and the speed that it has.
Gotcha.
But when I get it, I just only do the speed limit.
Yeah. You don't know what to do with it. Gotcha.
Like,
I got the power,
Come on now.
but I don't utilize it.
But you're scared of power.
I wouldn't say I'm scared of it.
not
I bought it because of the power, but I don't utilize the power. Let me give you another example.
No,
That's a good one.
yes.
I got the power. I'm riding around with it, but I'll never hit it. I'm talking about, you had to red light one time. You got to see what you're working with. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna test it.
Oh yeah.
So this is what I used to say, and I still be saying it. Y'all pray for me. I say if I ever get pulled over for going super fast, I'm gonna tell the police I bought it with all of this on here. I bought it with 180 miles per hour on the car. So should you write the ticket to the dealership?
They don't go back. Just keep obeying the law of the land.
Come on now. I'm trying to reason my way around this thing. I bought this with all of this power on it. So if it's illegal, why would they give me all of this to just, tempt me like this? I'll still be wrong, but, you got the power, but you never utilize the power, right? So we have the power to use on everybody else. But that same power that you use and demonstrate on everybody else is that same power that needs to be used on you.
So you know that it'll work for somebody else. So you don't believe in yourself. It's still an identity problem.
It's an identity problem.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to face you. You don't want to see you.
You don't want to deal with it.
You don't want to deal with it. Or you think you straight.
Right. I was gonna
That's
say,
what I was gonna say.
Or you
because
think
there
you
are
straight.
there are
Yeah.
some times when you go through stuff and you literally, all right, I'm good, but there are some
Right.
people who literally, in the spirit of heaven, they see you.
Come on now.
Like I was like Sunday, I'm good.
Yeah.
And he go, Danny,
Mm-hmm.
you all right? Hey,
Come on.
I said, move. I'm good. Go away.
Right.
Sit.
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I thought I was good.
Yeah.
Anybody else say that?
It squeezed out.
But there are some people who's like, hey, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, maybe I am.
This is why community is so important.
Yeah.
This is why God is big on fellowship and community. Because if you isolate yourself, who gonna tell you that you are? Who gonna show you?
Nobody.
You see what I'm saying? When God comes to give an account to Adam in the garden, where you at?
And these, like you said, it come from like years and years or generations
Right.
of not dealing with
Not
stuff.
dealing with it. And not
Our
knowing
parents
to
did
deal
the
with
same
it.
thing.
Absolutely.
Stuff. like, it's a lot of stuff, like you said, we just not starting to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, emotional intelligence, self-management, all this, like, it just starting to come to the forefront.
That's right. That's right. And I wouldn't look at that as a bad thing, though. Because a lot of times we'll look at it as, man, I'm just not getting this. I wish I would have. You know what I'm saying? It's good that we're getting it right now. You know what I'm saying? God shows up. He shows up in this garden. He said, where you at, Adam? Where are you? This is rhetorical because we know I'm all knowing.
Yeah.
And when he finally comes out of hiding, he got these fig leaves wrapped around him. He's like, well, what you doing? You know, he said, we hid ourselves because we were naked. He said, who told you that? He said, you done met with that tree. You know how you go into your children and you say, you been,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know already. I want to show you how this ain't just started. God talking to Adam. He shifted the blame. It's the woman you gave him.
He avoided it.
He avoided it.
He avoided it.
He avoided it. Why not say, okay, God, you did tell me, and you know I'm supposed to make sure that she don't do it either.
Right.
He said it's her fault. I'm talking to you though. Where is the responsibility that you gonna take and you eating too? It's her fault. She gave it to me, and I ate. So it's all her fault. If you want to talk to somebody, talk to her. Avoidance. Dismissing it, not owning it, not taking responsibility for your part in the matter. So avoiding issues. People who operate like this, they are burying their emotions. This is the reason they don't want to face a truth that seems self-evident or do something they find to be so upsetting. A lot of times, and you said something earlier, people will avoid because of confrontation, right? Some people don't like the feeling of the way correction feels, like what Pastor V was saying, because all of it feels the same way. It feels like an attack. You know, it hurt, but the hurt is designed just like when you chastise your kid. I'm doing this because I'm correcting you and bringing you back into the right mindset for the better. But this gonna hurt, cause I got to show you this is unacceptable. And when you got healthy attachments in your life, these are, I'm gonna say, these people are switches. They are boundaries for you. They tell you, okay, you might have thought you were right, but you overstepped the boundary. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have anybody in your space that's healthy enough to tell you about you, you do not have a good circle. You don't have good attachments in your life.
Come on now.
It's gotta be, you gotta at least have one. Somebody to tell you, okay, well, you didn't handle that right. You didn't talk to him right. You didn't talk to her right. You didn't deal with that right. You didn't do that right. And you not getting your feelings and want to separate from the friend who trying to help you.
Right.
They just hating on me. No, they not hating. They trying to help you. They're not hating on you. And this is the.
That's why. I think that's why the reason why we can't keep healthy attachment, because they don't recognize it and they running it off.
They running it off. They running it off. And what we're left with is the same unhealthy attachment.
Right.
So what we do is we repeat the same cycle. I changed church though. Well, I'm going through the same thing. And I'm looking at this new pastor like my old pastor. I'm looking at these new members like the old members that I just left from. Cause watch this. When I showed up with the mindset, I ain't trusting nobody. Well, why are you joining?
Like it wasn't gonna follow you.
You know what I'm saying?
Your trunk.
You ain't, now you're bringing a past experience that you are no longer in. You're bringing it into a new space, in a new place, and you are experiencing the same thing in a totally different place. But this is a new season, right? God is doing a new thing in our life. But why we keep repeating the same cycles if it's so new?
Because you keep failing the test.
Keep failing. Keep failing. We're not receiving what's readily around us. It does not matter how toxic an individual is and how unhealed they are or how they have avoidant behaviors. God will always put somebody in your reach to be able to get you out of the space that you're in. Always. Here go Bible. I made a way of escape. But a lot of times what we do is, I don't like that way you made, God. Because I don't like them.
Right.
And because I don't like them, I'm going to take another route myself.
Right.
And I'm going to be like Sarah. And I'm going to try to help God fix this.
Right.
But God already got a way of fixing it with who he want to help you fix it. Did I say that right? With who he got in your life to help you fix the situation. So if I refuse who God sent, I refuse God.
Right. And what happens is they connect with enablers rather than people that gonna push them into what they.
I can't keep you in, Pastor B. You can't do this. You can't do us like this. They connect with enablers.
Right. Someone who's not gonna bring that pressure, and a lot of times they avoid that pressure because pressure makes you change.
Absolutely.
And if you don't get the right kind of pressure, you're gonna stay the same.
You're gonna stay the same.
And so that's what it's all about. Is that transformation.
Exactly.
And agree with you and everything.
Exactly. You're gonna connect. You just said something. Oh God, you're gonna connect with people who think like you, who are immature like you, who avoid it, got same patterns just like you. That's what they call trauma bonding.
Right.
Cause we so traumatized together, we best of friends, and in a sense, ain't nothing wrong with being friends with somebody. But if it's toxic to you and it's hurting you, that's an unhealthy attachment. Anybody can go, out to the bar and do something together with a friend, or Netflix and chill together. But can you take this constructive criticism without you avoiding me for 14 days?
Or flying out the handle.
Flying out the handle. Because when I presented it to you, you got upset. Because you ain't like the way it feel. It made you uncomfortable. So now you start attacking. Because I feel like you done attacked me. So I'm gonna hit you back.
Right.
I'm gonna say something, or I'm gonna do whatever, because I'm in defense mode right now, because what you said does not feel good to me. Can we get delivered today?
Yes.
You. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Don't log off. I'm talking to you. Can we get free today? While we're shouting, while we're prophesying, while we're speaking in tongues, while we're naming and claiming it and running around church every Sunday, can we get free on a Tuesday?
Yes, Lord.
Can we get free on a Tuesday?
Yes.
Because watch this. I'm tired of going to church just coping.
Yeah.
Because church is my medication. Church is my coping mechanism. Because I feel good when I'm at church. When I go back home, I go back into the reality of my regular life. You know what I'm saying? From Monday to Saturday, I'm talking about I'm emotionally a wreck. I'm depressed. I can't talk to God. I ain't meditate. I don't do anything that I do on Sunday.
So what you call that now?
It's like it's a coping. It's a
high.
Right. Some people use church for a high. Just like a drug.
Think gonna heal their problem.
Yeah, and when they leave church, they go right back to the same thing. But what we're failing at is we're not making this stuff applicable that we're hearing in the church, because it sounds good because we shouting about it. You know what I'm saying? It feels good when we're hearing it because we're responding. I love the Kingdom Church, because when they get good, they'll walk all the way up I be thinking they better come up there and help me preach. So I know it's good to them, okay, but it'll be good on Wednesday too. If you take that same word and apply it to a situation that you may be in, it'll be good on Thursday too.
Yes.
It'll be good on Friday too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't have to stop inside of this building. This is where we have done a bad job as the body of Christ, of all ages, of teaching people that God is going to do everything. Jesus said on the cross, it's finished.
It's finished. Come on now. I'm chilling.
My work is done.
I'm chilling.
Now, however, I still got a part in your life because I'm going to be in you, working through you. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you are navigating through life the right way. But I ain't making you do nothing.
Come on
It's
now.
God now. I ain't making you do anything. Now, I may set some things up in your path to chastise you because you bucket. But I'm not going to make you do anything.
To force you to love me, you want to love me.
You see what I'm saying? So, these avoiding issues are not dealing with the situation. Starting the argument and shifting the blame, being dismissive, passive aggression, all of these signs of shutting down, just leaving out of the house, or hanging up the phone in full face. Lord, please forgive me because I hung up on 1 million people in my lifetime.
Yes, Lord.
Lord Jesus, I just was anointed. I ain't got to take this and just hang up. You know what I'm saying? They'll call me back and their tone still be raised. I hang up again. That's kind of good though, in a sense. Let me go to my defense real quick. Let me go to my defense real quick before y'all crucify me. In a way, I'm still trying to teach you. You ain't finna talk to me like that.
Right.
Until you can come correctly, I'm gonna hang up in your face. I'm gonna show you this is a boundary. If you can't respect me and talk to me, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you. You're gonna have to talk to the operator. That's a boundary.
Right.
Now, I wasn't thinking about that in the past. I just would hang up because I ain't like what you were saying, and it was right. And nobody got time for that. But now I got a different perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you come at me the wrong way, I'm responsible for protecting my peace.
Right.
I'm responsible for how I allow for you to treat me.
Right.
And if I don't put that boundary up there, I'm just saying, okay, you can just come in and just do me however you want to do me. And when you have self-worth and you know who you are and you love yourself, you don't let anybody treat you any kind of way. Period. You was gonna say something?
Well, I was talking, what the Word of God says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stirs up strife.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if the person is really trying to get a resolve and want to come to a place where that the relationships can have some reconciliation, then it should be handled in that way, coming with
the right
the
method.
the right tone, the right because you want to get some resolve in it, or
Right.
get to a place where you're trying to, if it's you're trying to confront someone for how they're treating you,
Right.
you just want to come the right way.
The right way.
Because if you are responding in already in anger, that doesn't give the person a right to respond back to you that way.
Right.
But it can stir it up.
If they're not mature.
If they're not mature.
Right.
And so I think how we go about things makes a difference
It
if
does.
we're trying to get to some kind of
The right solution.
the right solution.
Mhm.
Because it's never to the point where we always trying to have a wedge between us.
Right.
Even if it's connection that we should have,
Right.
even though the relationship might not be where it needs to be, but it's still a relationship that you need to have.
Mhm.
It need to be handled, in a way that it can bring that reconciliation
That's right.
and to bring that peace back into that relationship.
That's
Because it ain't always about me going my way and you going your way.
Absolutely.
Because there are some people that are in your life that needs to be in your life,
Mhm.
but we have to learn how to come to that place where we are compromising
That's
and reaching that place where we're gonna respect one another, because the Bible do tell us that we are to respect one another.
That's
We
right.
are to to have that honor and just to treat if we would just treat people the way we want to be treated
Come
and
on.
not how they treat us,
Right.
then we'll get better results
That's it.
in relationships.
That's it.
Because that's just, we learned that the golden rule, do
Mhm.
unto others as you would have them to do unto you,
That's
not as they do to you.
Mhm.
And so that's part of the healing process when we get to that place where we're gonna be responsible
Mhm.
and enough to respond the way that we would want someone to respond to us or
Absolutely.
to approach us. We'll give it
Mhm.
and then we can receive it,
Right.
you know.
Because peace and reconciliation is the ultimate goal.
Right.
So, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go because it's 8 o'clock. We don't reached our time. If you have struggles with avoidance styles, and you're not in a place where you are mature enough to express it right then or at the moment, you just can't disappear without saying something.
Right.
Let's say, for instance, okay, there's a situation where, I'm upset, but I can't talk about it right now. I need to be able to communicate to my friend, parent, pastor, whoever, spouse, okay, I do want to address this. This is important, but let me calm down right now. We'll talk about it at a later time. I need to communicate that. I don't need to just disappear because I'm mad and I want to avoid it. It ain't that I want to avoid it. I just want to be calm so we can talk.
Right.
But if I don't say nothing to you
And just disappear.
and just disappear, and then by the time I come back, I say, well, I needed some time to talk. But the other person, I didn't know that. You ain't tell me that. So now I'm left with assumption. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what to think. Because you ain't communicating. This is why it's so important that we grow and heal in these areas, because a conversation can save your marriage. A conversation can save the relationship between you and your child. A conversation can save the relationship between best of friends, brothers and sisters in Christ, with a conversation. A simple conversation. A simple conversation. But when we don't know how to deal with these things, I'm talking about something super small can blow up so big, and by the time we get through arguing and fussing and fighting, and we look back at it a year later, we don't even know what we were mad about. Because it was just that minute. It was just that small. Exactly. You start laughing at it because what it is, you done suppress stuff for so long. By the time something do make you uncomfortable, here's 5 years worth of stuff coming back out. And now you throwing up stuff you ain't never even addressed with them.
Right.
And now they saying, I ain't know nothing about that. I ain't know you ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It feel good. You know what I'm saying? But now you saying it out of a place of anger, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, okay, if you had a problem with that, why you didn't address it then? Now that we talking about one thing, now you want to bring up and just, and just throw all of this on me. Communication is so important in any dynamic, any kind of aspect. I gotta make a hard stop, y'all. It's 8:03. I done went over time. I like to keep my word 1 hour. Y'all hear that power? That's God. That was God trying to show us. I told y'all. But we just heard a car that got about 500 horsepower drive by, and they hit it. Thank you all for tuning in. I pray something was said tonight to help you or to bring awareness to some behaviors that we've all been operating in. But if you want to heal, if you want to grow, if you want to become your best self, the stuff that you heard tonight, make it applicable in your life. One thing that God will do, once you are exposed to something, He will test you in what you've been exposed to. And in order to know that you have gained the information and made it applicable in your life, you start to practice it when it's time to execute it and when it's time to come through in the clutch. So when you are tested, whether it's later today, whether it's next week, whether it's tomorrow, show up as your best self. And don't be triggered. Don't give in. Don't respond like you used to respond. If you want different results, you got to do something different in your actions. God bless you. The prompts are on the screen. If you're going to give, we thank you in advance. God bless you. We love you. We are
Kingdom.
Bye-bye.